John Garrity is a structural engineer currently at one of his recent project sites in Atlanta, Georgia. Recent developments have caused major delays in his project, making John agitated. He drives his truck home where his estranged wife Allison is doing her daily workout on the treadmill. John tries making conversation with his wife, but the awkward atmosphere makes him ask for their son Nathan instead. Nathan gets home shortly and is very excited to see his father. Nathan shares his latest drawings with his father, including one of Comet Clark, supposed to pass by Earth in a few days. Nathan is diabetic and he proudly shows his new insulin pack to his father, claiming that they are better than the mandatory shots. The following day, John and Nathan go to the grocery store to pick up some things as they'll be having a party with their friends and neighbors to watch the comet's descent. In the store, John gets a presidential message and an automated voice call saying that he and his family have been chosen for sanctuary. John sees that no one else in the store has received the message. He quickly gets Nathan and rushes home, but finds that the guests have already arrived. He pulls Allison aside to ask about the presidential message, but the latter didn't see it broadcasted on the TV since she was on the treadmill. The party begins, and soon the guests gather in the living room to watch the first of the comet's shower. The comet fragment is seen entering the Earth's atmosphere, and everyone watches in anticipation, expecting it to land in the ocean near Bermuda. However, the live feed shows the fragment striking Tampa, Florida. John rushes outside the house, and a few minutes later, a shockwave throws him to the ground and breaks the window glass. The fragment vaporizes Tampa and most of Florida state. The guests are still discussing the recent events when the TV broadcasts the presidential message again. John is asked to get his family to a particular location for emergency evacuation. He is warned against bringing anyone else along. The party guests leave the house to be with their families, leaving John and his family to start packing. After getting everything they need, the family drives off, but their closest neighbor stops the car and wishes the family safe travels. He reports that Clark is in a direct collision with Earth and will wipe out around 75% of life on Earth, causing an extinction-level event. Furthermore, more fragments will precede the comet. One woman tries to get John to take her daughter, but John drives away, knowing that the daughter will be turned away anyway. As they drive through the city, they see that people are panicking and have begun looting and vandalizing stores. Soon, the family finds a major pileup on the highway, so John takes an alternate route. On the way, he can't help but wonder why he was chosen among millions of others. The family reaches the Robbins Air Force for an evacuation flight. The place is surrounded by many desperate people seeking asylum from the military. John and his family push their way to the gate and are allowed inside. While packing their items, Allison realizes that they have left Nathan's medication in the car. John rushes back to get it while Allison explains the situation to the nearest officer. However, the soldier sends Allison to the nearest commanding officer because of Nathan's condition. The officer explains that they cannot take in someone with a chronic illness. Allison and Nathan are escorted outside the base. Coincidentally, John gets the insulin and rushes back in, not knowing what has happened. He checks the plane for his family but does not find them. John hops on the last plane hoping to reunite with his family. In the plane, one man sees John's medication. He explains that a relative of his had been kicked out due to an illness, causing John to suspect that his family is out too. He demands to be let out of the plane just as the angry mob breaks in and a shootout begins. John sees that a stray bullet has hit the plane's fuel tank, so he urges everyone to evacuate. The hit plane explodes, causing a chain reaction that Allison and Nathan see. Nathan is convinced that his father has perished in the fire, but Allison holds on to hope. She leaves a note on the car's window asking John to meet them at her father Dale's place in Lexington, Kentucky. John quickly finds the note and follows his family. Allison starts looking for a pharmacy since Nathan's insulin has run out. She finds one, but the place is raided by a gang wielding weapons, so Allison and Nathan quickly escape. A couple, Judy and Ralph, give them refuge in their car as they're going the same way. Ralph sees the wristbands that Allison and Nathan are wearing, realizing that they have been selected for shelter. He assumes it's because they're rich. Ralph stops the car and throws Allison out before driving off with Nathan. He intends to use the boy to save himself and his wife. The three get to the military base, but Nathan speaks up, refuting Ralph and Judy as his parents. The couple is arrested while Nathan is taken into one of the tents. Meanwhile, Allison gets a ride from another family and reaches the military base. She quickly rushes to the gate and starts asking the soldiers to help her locate her son. Luckily, she finds Nathan in the tent and reunites with him. Allison and Nathan are given a military escort to a town near Lexington and enough medication for Nathan. Elsewhere, John hitches a ride with a truck driver going the same way. In the truck, he meets other passengers and makes conversation with a young man called Colin. Colin explains that John was chosen due to his occupation. Colin also invites John to meet up in Canada, since private airplanes are flying people to the sanctuary in Greenland. As the truck speeds along, one of the other passengers sees John's bracelet. He grabs a hammer and demands that John give the wristband to him. A fight breaks out and the traction causes the truck to nearly crash. All the guys in the back are thrown out of the truck. John continues fighting with the guy until he accidentally kills him with the hammer he was wielding earlier. John is devastated to find that Colin died from the crash. He starts walking down the highway, hoping to catch another ride. Eventually, John breaks into an abandoned home in search of food and water. He turns on the TV to get the latest news. To his horror, he realizes that Clark will strike the Earth in less than 24 hours. John steals the house owner's car and drives to Dale's house. He gets there but finds that Allison and Nathan are nowhere to be seen. Dale and John have had disagreements in the past due to John's neglect of his family. The two men decide to put their differences aside and look for Allison. Luckily, Allison and Nathan are dropped at a nearby grocery store where they use the phone to contact John and ask to be picked up. The family reunites and starts discussing what the next move is. John approaches Dale in the garage and apologizes for his actions. Dale accepts the apology and asks that John protect the family at all costs. A shockwave hits the area, causing John to remember Greenland. He learns that the underground bunkers are near Pituffik Space Base in Greenland, and that is where all the evacuees are being taken to. John wants Dale to accompany them so they can make it to Osgood, Canada in time and get on a plane, but Dale refuses. He prefers to stay and watch the house. He gives the family his truck and says his goodbyes. The family quickly drives but is caught in a traffic jam in upstate New York. Suddenly, a shower of molten debris starts falling, burning everything it touches. John and his family hide at an underpass, but John risks his life by saving a man trapped in a burning car. Many hours later, the shower ends and the family continues to Canada. On the radio, the family learns that the comet will land somewhere in Western Europe and completely vaporize it. Many tsunamis and shockwaves will hit the Earth at a speed quicker than sound, leading to catastrophic events. John reaches Osgood and sees a plane taking off. He deduces that the airport is close by, so he drives towards it. John gets into the airport but finds the last plane on the runway ready to take off. An angry pilot yells at John, and after some arguments, he agrees to let the family into the plane even though it is beyond capacity. While in the skies to Greenland, another fragment strikes the land below, and the resulting afterwave hits the plane, causing it to crash land in the mountains. The pilots die, and the passengers realize that they have little time. Luckily, John had seen a military plane descending, so he instructed the others to follow the path, and they reach the underground bunkers. The military helps the people into the depths of the bunkers seconds before Clark releases her fury on Earth. As the apocalypse happens, John revisits happy memories and hopes to reignite the spark between him and his family. 9 months later, the doors to the bunkers open and the desolate world is exposed for every survivor to see. A bird flies above, signaling that the Earth is safe. Greenland reaches out to other survivors all over the world, and everyone is relieved to learn that they have a chance to rebuild the world. Do leave a comment telling us your favorite part of the movie. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next recap. Until next time, folks, take care and goodbye.